Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy report for the 21st of April. And I hope you all had a happy Easter. I'm recording on Easter Monday and just feeling into the energies of what this, holy weekend means for people who are connected to that. And those that aren't, it's an opportunity just to spend time with family and think about the symbology of the eggs that we share and what the Holy Weekend means for some people, even if they're not religious at all, but just being for me in that, the collective, what the collective's feeling and doing and how that invokes a sense of death, rebirth, resurrection, remembering ourselves as divine spiritual beings. It's completely the energy that I've been in over the weekend, thinking about what does this mean? What does that story mean to me? And what archetypes do I hold within the story? And what wants to be resurrected in me? I get the chance now to move forward into spring and to think about what this year is going to be for me and how I walk through the year. What lessons have I learned from last year? What has happened to me in my life that's asking me to step up and step further into my work and service. So all of that kind of thing should be going on in self-reflection about ourselves. So what we're feeling is this week is the Taurian energy. Obviously, Sun is in Taurus, and that's going to have like a really grounding impact on us. I am Taurian, so this feels like there's a deep settling, like a deep sigh happening in my life. I've actually been able to take some stillness, which, if you know me, is quite challenging, and just some deeper rest and just landing really after a really dark space over winter. I think we've talked about this quite a lot, that we've all gone through quite a big transition over winter, and now we're on the movement into spring and what that's asking us to do now with regards to gently waking up and starting to move. So we're all feeling that we're moving, but we're in this really grounded earthly energy of Taurus. And Taurus holds a lot for us in that it's, the body becomes the sacred altar. The Taurian and Taurus energy is about being in the body. It's about the body. And because Taurus is also ruled by Venus, it asks us to come back to a deeper space of embodiment within sensuality. So within the senses, touch, taste, smell, living inside the senses with devotion. What is it like to be in devotion to your sensuality? What's it like to feel the earth sing, to connect to the slow rhythm, to root in what's real and nourishing and sustaining, to feel the rain, the flowers, the wet, the sun, all of it. And that's what Venusian energy is really about. It's a pulse of love, it's a pulse of pleasure, it's sacred beauty. It stirs inside the body, it's in the body. And we might feel soft awakenings of desire within us and deeper the need and want for deep intimacy. I was only sharing with someone yesterday that that's my language, really, that deeper space of intimacy. I've got a lot of the Venusian energy, a lot of the pleasure, a lot of the sensuality, a lot of the sexuality that stirs in my body. But the container in which I choose to put that is a deep, intimate container, one of genuine connection. And the reason that I decide to place it there is because I know that with this energy that is Venusian, that is really kind of anchored in the sensuality of the body, that it could be very destructive if it wasn't placed within a devotional container. And that's my life's spiritual experiences have taught me that. And that for me, that container is the spiritual for me. And so it doesn't matter how much desire awakens within me during this season, I know there is a place to put it. And there's also a destructive place to put it. So I want you to think about that as you feel into desire and energy and what that feels like, because you've got to think about where you put it and how you use it. So it's about trying to feel where this Venusian energy wants to go and feeling as all this awakens within the body, where are you going to place it? It's really healing to use it on the self, to become your own personal container for this, and to try to harness the energies so that they work for you in a healing way, and in a way that invests in your spiritual, your sacred, and your future. So we've learned previous to this about relationships. In fact, a lot of the energy reports have been talking about the relationship and what they mirror to us. So any of us that have been in breakups, or those of us that are trying to sort out issues within relationship, it's about pulling it all back to the self and seeing what that mirrors to us. What is it trying to show to us? And we've got lots going on as usual within the stars, and we currently have a grand cross in the sky. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, we've got Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, we've got Mars in Leo, we've got the Sun in Taurus. It really is all about what we have been trying to learn about ourselves and what needs to come in, especially what needs to come in. So within the Jungian frameworks that I work in, I like to really use active imagination and to just begin to feel, dialogue with the future me, and also feeling into gathering a picture in my mind and an understanding of what I want that to look like. What does that look like for me? What am I sure that I want? What do I really truly need and want to bring in my life that will enrich it? So all of this is just really, again, fine tuning us to imagine the life that we want, and to make it very clear, and to make sure that our energies are matching up to it, that we're not behaving the old way, that our behaviors have changed, and that we're working on the areas, for example, with the Venusian, that maybe desire goes to the wrong places and needs to be channeled into a more devotional, spiritual vessel. It is also going to feel this week as though there is a lot of kind of, like, let's say, shadow energy within the Mars and Pluto opposition. So we might be seeing a lot of destruction going on. There might be feelings of destruction. We might see that in the collective within the frameworks of, politics and the social structures, but within our own psyche. And again, these words don't have to be negative. Like destruction, an unconscious destruction can be very in its shadow, of course, but if you can make destruction conscious in what needs to be destroyed, then it's more malleable, it's more able to be worked in your favor rather than against you. So think about that. We're going to see people blowing up, and that's going to be destructive. So it's another warning to really just feel your emotions, feel what's going on for you, tune into them, question yourself. And if there's emotions that are moving that feel quite volatile, then move them. Don't explode them on others. And if you're around people that you can see are explosive, then just give them wide berth and let them erupt on their own. It could also be you could also be seeing bitterness in the collective as well. So if people haven't worked through the very things that they have resentments for, or that have troubled them or upset them, then we might be seeing that the resentment is building. So this would be a good time to feel into your own energy, is what you're harboring, what you're holding onto, what you've not emotionally processed that could turn into bitterness. Bitterness doesn't really wear well on us. It's seen, and I see it held in the face, really. Bitterness can be held in people's faces. It's very somatic, and that can come out of words and conversations, and actually the way that people live their whole life. So the bitterness needs to be replaced with sweetness. And how can you make something that has been bitter for you sweet? How can it convert? How can it come into its jewel and become the traverse of what you've been experiencing? It's all down to you. You're the master of your life, the magician of your life. And so you can transform and change things. So yeah, it's a time that is got a smouldering undercurrent. The undercurrents are anger, bitterness, resentments. These have been bottled up, and this time is actually helping us try to release those. These more shadowy aspects, if they're unacknowledged in you, they can trap the Venusian awakening. And that means that you'll come into tension, self-sabotage, or even into numbness of fear. So make sure that you work through those darkest aspects so that you can embrace the Venusian energies and be on the threshold of this alchemy that's trying to come through for us. Some really good psycho-spiritual questions at the moment would be, when you let all destructive emotional patterns strangle your capacity for love, beauty, and life force, what are you actually keeping from yourself? So you feel that when you're in destructive emotional patterns, the bitterness, the resentfulness, what are you withholding from yourself, i.e. the opposite? Or will we allow the fire of Mars and Pluto to burn away what no longer serves us so that the body can become a vessel for Venusian grace? Or will you hold on? So these are the invitations to stay close to the body. And, I always find that breathing into these places really helps moving in the places. So if you've got a somatic practice, a movement, dance, yoga, qigong, anything like that, that might allow you to bring consciousness to these type places and move the energy through, then it will be very helpful at this time. Move through anger, bring your consciousness to it, let the tears fall if it's tears that are needed to release from the body. And know that this is the perfect time to be held by the earth energy, because we're in the Taurus energy of the sun being in Taurus, which is choosing our bodies, choosing the earth, being grounded, being steady, being stable, and transforming those emotions so they help us walk forward into the life that we need. So, yeah, this is going to be a great week of, again, emotion, feeling, groundedness, and maybe a clearing out. With some of us, I've definitely been sensing the need to clear out, organize, chuck away things that you no longer use or need, that might feel like you're creating space for the new to come in. So have a great week, everybody, and looking forward to seeing you in the Sacred Rose Temple. If you're not already in my Facebook group, I have groups with over 20,000 women gathering to talk about the feminine mysteries and all things that are spiritual, devotional, sensual, and of the feminine. So take care and speak soon.